Leviticus 4, the absolution offering. God spoke to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, when a person sins unintentionally by staying away from from any of God's commands, breaking what must not be broken, if it is an anointed priest who sins, and so brings guilt on the people, he is to bring a bull without defect to God as an absolute offering for the sin he has committed. Have him bring a bull to the entrance of the tent of meeting in the presence of God. Lay his hands on the bull's head and slaughter the bull before God. He is then to take some of the bull's blood, bring it into the tent of meeting, dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle some of it 7 times before God, before the curtain of the sanctuary. He is to smear some blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense before God, which is the tent of meeting. He is to pour the rest of the bull's blood out at the base of the altar of whole burnt offering at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He is to remove all fat from the bull of the absolute offering. The fat which covers and is connected to the entrails, the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is around them at the loins, and the lobes of the river, which he takes out along with the kidneys. The same procedure as when the fat is removed from the bull of the peace offering. Finally, he is to burn all on the altar of the burnt offering. Everything else, the bull's hide, meat, head, leg, organs, and guts, he is to take outside the camp to clean place where the ashes are dumped, and to burn on the wood fire. 13 through 21. If the whole congregation sins unintentionally by staying away from one of the commandments of God that must not be broken, they become guilty even though no one is aware of it. When they do become aware of the sin they've committed, the congregation must bring a bull as an absolution offering and present it to the tent of meeting. The elders of the congregation will lay their hands on the bull's head in the presence of God, and one of them will slaughter it before God. The anointed priest will then bring some of the blood into the tent of meeting, dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before God in front of the curtain. He will smear some of the blood on the horns of the altar, which is before God in the tent of meeting, and pour the rest of it at the basin of the altar of the burnt offering at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He will remove all the fat and burn it on the altar. He will follow the same procedure with the bull as the bull of the absolute offering. The priest makes atonement for them, and they are forgiven. They will then take the bull outside the camp and burn it, just as they did the first bull. It's the absolution offering for the congregation. 22 through 26. When a ruler sins unintentionally by staying from one of the commandments of his God, which must not be broken, he is guilty when he becomes aware of the sin he has committed. He must bring a goat for his offering, a male without any defect. Lay his hands on its head of the goat, and slaughter it at the place where they slaughter the whole burnt offering in the presence of God, as in the absolution offering. The priest will take some of the blood of the absolution offering with his finger, smear it on the horns of the altar of the whole burnt offering, and pour the rest in the base of the altar. He will burn it, all its fat, on the altar, the same as with the fat of the peace offering. The priest makes atonement for him on account of his sin, and he's forgiven. 27 through 31. When an ordinary member of the congregation sins unintentionally, staying away from one of God's commandments, which must not be broken, he is guilty. When he is made aware of his sins, he shall bring a goat, a female without any defect, and offer it for his sin. Lay his hand on the head of the absolution offering, and slaughter it at the place of the whole burnt offering. the priest will take some of the blood with his finger, smear it on the horns of the altar, the whole burnt offering, and pour the rest at the base of the altar. Finally, he'll take out all the fat, the same as with the peace offering, and burn it on the altar for pleasing fragrance to God. In this way, the priest makes atonement for him, and he is forgiven. If he brings a lamb for the absolute offering, he shall present a female without any defect. Lay his hand on the head of the absolution offering and slaughter it in the same place they slaughter the whole burnt offering. The priest will take some of the blood of the absolution offering with his finger, smear it on the horns of the altar, the burnt offering, pour the rest of the blood in the base of the altar. He shall remove all the fat, the same as for the lamb of the peace offering. Finally, the priest will burn it on the offering altar on top of the gift from God. In this way, the priest makes atonement for him on account of his sin, and he's forgiven. Sorry for the loud bird in the background, but I hope you get a lot from this video. Thank you and God bless.